Welcome guys, this is Campie and I play Sanctum. In this video, I'm going to show you how to beat the first area park map. I'm going to choose Sweet Autumn. She used to be my main, but she does seem kind of nerfed now. Just gonna choose explosive weapons, battle rifle, and the rocket launcher. For this park map, it's not too difficult, so it doesn't really matter totally on what towers or perks you choose. It's not too hard. The only really tough enemies would be the warrior. The warrior has a lot of life and it can leap towards you, and he also does a lot of damage as well if he gets close to you. Typically, if you're having trouble with warriors, then you can just get the mines or the focus tower. If you get the focus tower, you want to change it so that it's set to enemies with the highest hit points. And you want to put the focus tower not at the very beginning, but maybe somewhere between the beginning and in the middle. So just close up the gap and continue building a line, and it's advisable that you build a line going towards the entrance where they come from, so this way when they come out in a neat kind of line so you can shoot them and they're all clustered together rather than kind of in random places when they come at you in the very beginning. So next I'm going to build a slow dispenser, and you can get this slow dispenser field if you bought the DLC. The slow dispenser field is usually more favored than a Kairos, even though both towers slow down enemies. The reason why I like the slow field dispenser more is because it's more reliable. You can just put it on the ground and it's always active. The Kairos has a bigger area of effect, but it's not as reliable because it kind of slows down enemies in random places and sometimes is not ready yet and enemies just slip past. But the bad thing about the slow field dispenser is it will slow down you if you're within the field. The area of effect is kind of tiny, but if you level it to level 3 and if you have a range tower beside it, level 3 range tower, then the area of effect is quite large. In single player games, slow fields generally aren't as good because you don't have as much money, but if you're playing with 2 or 3 people, you'll get a lot of money, and it seems to stack better when you have a lot of other players. Slow fields seem to do more than when you're just alone playing solo. So I placed the slow fields by the kill zone. The kill zone is where you want to stand and where most of the enemies will generally fall down and die to your attacks or towers attacks. Once the enemies have slipped past the kill zone, then generally your ability to kill enemies has greatly diminished. So you want to stay at the kill zone for as long as you can. And for the enemies that slip past, you either want a partner to go and kill the people that slip past, or you want to have 1 or 2 towers to kill those enemies, or maybe some landmines. Because once you find yourself leaving a kill zone to kill stragglers, then you're put in a position where more enemies will probably slip past because you're unable to keep up and kill enemies at the kill zone, where enemies die the most effectively. So I built a landmine dispenser, and I just put some landmines there closer to the middle or end of the maze to kill the tough enemies that slip past. Landmines are very good at killing fast little creatures because it's kind of wasted. It's better at killing slow, more powerful enemies that require a lot of damage to dispatch. So here I'm just killing enemies that are just slowed down by the slow field dispenser. And if you want, you can hide behind that gate and just shoot through it. Avoid getting hit by enemies because on the hardest mode, they do a lot of damage. And if you're in trouble, you can just jump and rocket jump back, or you can just jump over the wall. And I want to kill them before they hit those landmines, because if they use up the landmines, it's kind of wasted. Creating one landmine dispenser at the very beginning is pretty effective because you get more landmines if you build it sooner. Sooner is better than later with landmines. When I first started playing Sanctum 2, I don't think I built too many landmines, but they're actually very highly effective. And sometimes for fun, I'll just build all landmine dispensers, and I'll kill a majority of the looms using, you know, my weapons, and the ones that slip past would just get obliterated by landmine. Landmines are slightly more effective now because in the past, soakers, they weren't damaged by landmines, but now they are. And what a lot of people don't realize is landmines can even kill hoverers, and hoverers can be such a pain in the ass. The only enemy that landmines might not be good at killing is rhinos. Rhinos, when they're running at maximum speed, running down like a long corridor, they will activate the landmines, but they run too fast to get killed by landmines because it takes half a second for landmines to activate and blow up after being stepped on. But if you put landmines around corners, or if you make the maze like really tight, cornery, and the rhinos have to like kind of stop, then landmines are okay. For the screamers, you want to dodge their attack, because if you take, you know, 3 or 4 of those shots in a row, you probably die. See, those warriors die pretty fast to those landmines, but try to kill as many enemies as you can before they eat up your landmines. You can also pick up landmines during the battle, but it's much better just to put it down before the battle starts, the wave starts. On each level, there's usually 3 to 5 hidden landmines if you look carefully, if you just search level. But yeah, in this case, level's not too difficult, so I don't really have to search for them. So the next wave is soakers. Try to kill the soakers before they eat up your landmines. Simo is good at killing soakers, but I think Autumn is better at killing soakers because of her fire damage. With the perks I've selected, I'm not quite as good at killing soakers because my perk disables weak spot hits, and my accuracy by one of the perks is lowered a bit. But the raw damage I deal is a lot higher. Since I'm using explosive weapons, I don't need accuracy as much. And crit doesn't matter as much either when using explosives. But Autumn with a drone gun could probably kill soakers faster than any other class probably. Especially if you don't have weak spot disabled. As for towers, focus machine gun tower is pretty good against them, and if you have a mind control tower, it actually works very well against them because when they're mind controlled, even though they usually don't attack, they just stand still, and if you're just standing still taking damage, then it's pretty easy to kill them. And here I built a focus tower. Focus tower is actually one of my favorite towers. After a second of shooting, the focus tower's damage doubles, and after 2 or so seconds, its damage triples. Focus towers are generally not good against fast enemies. Against fast enemies, lightning towers are better, but against slower, high HP enemies, then focus towers are best bet. And focus towers have better range than lightning towers as well. And if you do build mine tower, don't forget to take your mines and place them before the level starts. And if you do forget to take your landmines before the wave ends, then you lose those landmines, but you get new landmines for the next wave that will start. So if you check out that focus laser, even though I placed it in the second row, it still is able to shoot enemies in the first row, so it's pretty darn good. So it will be able to shoot enemies in 4 different rows, so that's pretty good. You can also set the targeting to most HP, least HP, or closest target. Closest target is a default. Usually I set it to most HP, but this time I didn't really change it, so it's set to closest. If you're fighting a soaker and a screamer at the same time, you can just shoot the soaker and it would probably damage the soaker and a screamer simultaneously. So we had a couple of landmines eaten up, but that's okay because that's what it's there for, and level's done now. I hope you guys found this video informative, and I will see you in the next clip.